And anytime we push back stuff, guys, we will notify you. Just like if you're a part of the lab, we'll push back the time. We let people know there. If you're on YouTube, I mean the lab's the easiest way to know. If you're on YouTube, the schedule, you'll actually see, like if we push it back, it'll say starting in 3 hours instead of starting right now, that kind of thing. But the easiest thing is to join the lab. And we're glad you guys are here this week. So remember, guys, we do this every single Monday, typically at 4 p.m. Eastern. Today we're doing it at about, what is that, 9:15, which had to push it back today, had some stuff going on. And there's 3 ways to participate. 1, you can join through like YouTube or Twitch, which is where we're actually streaming. And you can, from there, just chat with us. So, just ask questions or anything like that. We'll coach you. You can also, what I'm about to do is drop the link in chat. You can also click this link and join, and you would join live with us. Okay, so you can actually chat with us in real time live. It's probably the best way to do it. And then also, the third way to participate is to submit film. So if you go to the Pickleball Lab, go to pickleball.lab.co, sign up for a paid membership if you want. There's also a free membership. The Q&A is a part of the free membership, but we also have weekly coaching calls that are the exact same thing as a Q&A, but they're private, and you get a lot more attention that way. You can just join the lab and join through there. I kind of lost my train of thought there. I don't know where I was going with that. But anyways, yeah, we do this about once a week, 4 p.m. Eastern on Monday. We would love to see you on. You can always check the recording on the lab. That's for free as well. And then you can also go to YouTube and Twitch. I think Twitch keeps it for a while as well. So we'll just wait till people jump in. Should have some people come in here in just a little bit. And then also... yeah, I'm going to work on some stuff while we wait. So if you're watching the replay, just fast forward until you see me talking or you see me working with somebody. Yep. All right, we'll be back in just a second. All right, guys, we haven't had anyone jump in yet, and so we'll give it about 10 more minutes. Nobody comes in for the Q&A today. It's no big deal. We'll be back here next Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern again. So we'll give it about 10 more minutes. If you're watching right now and you got questions about getting better at pickleball, pop them in the chat. Let's get going.
Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Josh.
Awesome. All right,
Oh,
man. Well, welcome.
finally I got in.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
I
Did you end
did,
up
yeah. So with desktop, it's a little weird because it's asking me to sign in, but when I sign in, and then it is again signing me out. But finally, I think it worked from the phone.
Interesting. Okay, no worries. All right, cool. So, um, I've got your footage downloaded, and so
Okay.
we can kind of go through it if you want. Do you have any questions first?
Uh, I don't think I have any questions. So
Okay.
basically, I think, like I explained, I was just trying to get some basics right for him,
Yeah.
so that he doesn't develop some of the bad practices which I have.
Yeah.
Which I know once you develop it, it's very difficult to get rid of them. So that's why I wanted to keep his fundamentals correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Getting rid of bad habits. It's just people hate them, right? They're not super difficult to get rid of if you're willing to get rid of them, right? But I think you're
Right.
very smart in why even start them off with bad habits. Like let's just start them off with good habits. So I think that's great. I think that's
Yeah.
great. So first thing I'll say is that in the lab, let's go here. So when you become a full member, you have
Mm-hmm.
access to this foundations course here.
Okay.
And then I'd want you to take this how to film course. So it kind of talks about the importance of it, what kind of tripod to get, and where to
Mm.
film from on your games. And
Got it.
so you already know how to film with your phone, and you obviously uploaded it to the lab, so you figured that part out. So you can watch that if you want. You don't have to, but let's get you on the games. That way, I can kind of see the full picture. Today, this
Mm-hmm.
is going to be plenty fine. Like this is gonna be good. In the future, I can actually see what kind of balls he's hitting across the net, right, and those types of things. So I can see kind of the full picture here.
Oh, okay, okay.
You see what
Yeah,
I'm
I
saying?
got it.
So
Basically, I should have recorded like full code so that you can see on both sides, basically.
yeah,
Right.
check out that footage or that not the footage, the lesson that I mentioned to you. But it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna kind of talk to you about the three different main angles to film
Okay.
from. Because it'd be good for him to watch his own film. He's doing stuff. It's all of us. He's doing stuff he's not realizing he's doing, and he's not going to be able to tell unless he's on film, and he can see it for himself. So, a lot of professionals, what they do is they watch themselves. So, at some point, if he gets really serious about pickleball, that's something that it would be good for us to introduce to him or
Okay.
introduce
Sure.
him to. Yeah, I'll show you. Let me see if I can find an example of some of my games. Anyways, just check it out. Check out that course. It'll show you.
Yeah.
I
Sure.
can't find anything of mine right here. Or is this you right here?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Can you see my screen pretty well?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. So let's see what we got here. Serve into the net, I'm gonna guess. So let's slow this. Let's slow the serve down. Not bad, not bad. There's some good stuff there that we can work with, and then there's some things that we can fix as well. Really good. 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 Now, does he like to play doubles or does he like to play singles?
I think he don't have a choice right now, but like basically we have some open play, so that's where he sometimes goes there to this bar. So mostly it was doubles games,
Great.
but basically I'm also checking if he can learn a little bit of tennis, so that
Sure.
that is like a parallel thing that I want him to learn as well.
Okay.
But yeah.
Good. Good. Okay. I think I'm almost to the point where I think I've seen everything I need to see. We'll see a couple more things here. Oh, good. So it sounds like he knows the importance of moving in on serve side, like actually making it to the kitchen line. Is that
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
Okay. Good. Okay. Good. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I think that's good enough. So if you guys join the lab, this is where I would start. Well, let's say you didn't join the lab. Let's just chat about what I see first. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
we want to take everything from serve side and return side. So the 4 phases of pickleball, we talk about this in the lab. It's also a video on YouTube of mine. You can check it out. It's
Yeah, I
serve,
think we
return.
have seen
Have you
that
seen it?
video. Yes.
Okay, great. So serve, return, transition, dinking, and volleying. The first 2 phases, you have different responsibilities depending on whether you're on serve side first or whether you're on return side. Okay. Or not first, whether you're on serve or if you're serving, you have different responsibilities than you do if you're returning. As soon as you're dinking, everyone's up at the net, and from dinking and volleying, the 3rd and 4th phase, everything's the same. Okay. However, it's really difficult to get to the kitchen. So I would say even at the 5-0 level, you're going to watch people probably not get there except for maybe 40% of the time. But those are and you know, people are winning on serve side transition a lot as well. We'll kind of break that down. So really what I'm trying to get at is the biggest benefit he's going to see is learning how to master transition, because at his level, he's anyone at this level is going to struggle with transition. That's the first thing we got to teach him. So you see a lot of people like drilling dinking, but they can't even get to the net. You see people drilling volleying, but they can't really get to the net. Volleying's like a special case, but they need to be drilling transition. And even though we break up serve and return in its own phase, really it's transition as well. Because like if you're serving, your serve is the shot before your third shot. The third shot's the most important part of the rally for serve side. And your third shot starts transition. So if your serve is your first shot before transition, it's technically still in transition. So is your return. Okay. So I would probably try and help him understand. Let's break these things down into 4 phases. Let's focus on that. So let's just focus on his serve side stuff first. Okay. So serve side, let's get forward a little bit more to where he's serving. Great. Okay. So he's going to serve. I can't see how I'm going to throw the kitchen sink at you, which is not what a coach should do. A coach should give you a plan, but let's say you don't join the lab. The lab will give you a plan, no problem. But let's say you don't join the lab. I'm just going to throw everything I got at you so you walk away with something, right? So his biggest thing here is when he serves. We'll come back to the swing. The swing's probably the biggest thing. We'll come back to that. But just a couple of things I noticed. So when he swings and serves, he steps in. We got to teach him how to stay back and how to stay at the baseline.
Okay.
So if we watch pros, oh great, we're right at a serve. Watch this guy serve here. Serves and stays behind the baseline and steps back. So look how far back on the baseline they are now. You don't need to be that far back, but it wouldn't hurt either. The reason that they're that far back is so that the return doesn't get hit at their feet, and that's a really hard ball to deal with. So you want to be behind. That's the first thing I noticed. Second thing I notice is he hits and he runs, and he doesn't know. Let's say that ball was in. The ball was super close to being in. It seems like he doesn't know when to go up and when to stay back. That's probably 80% of people that play pickleball, right? Like that's normal. That's normal. But we probably, I would work with him on that. So he needs to move up on a low ball at contact. Okay. So if we watch, this is going to be a drive. Ignore that. So at contact, this ball is high, so we have to stay back. That was a mistake for this guy right here to move up. Huge mistake.
Right.
Okay. So when the ball is contacted low, let's go to another rally. Let's see if we can get somebody to drop here. That's drop. Hit him in that. Okay, here we go. Ben will hit one. Oh, that ball's high. Wow. All right. Not doing a very good job finding the drop. There we go. This ball's going to be contacted low, below the net. That's when you can move up, and you need to move up about halfway. Okay. That's a beginner level understanding of how far to move up. You actually build on that over time, because really you should move until your opponent hits the ball. Well, when are they going to hit the ball? Sometimes they take the ball out of the air, so you don't have as much time as you think. Sometimes the ball bounces. Like we kind of allow for all of that, right? Like we build foundations. We don't talk about all of that at once. So that's what I see here, is just understanding when to move up, when to go back. Then you have to help him understand, how do you actually hit a shot a third shot drop. Are you familiar with the term?
Yeah, I mean, I play good amount of pickleball. Like I competed in a lot of 4.5 tournaments, uh, so
What
I'm
level?
familiar with 4.5 and 5.0 is what I'm playing right now. Like my
Okay.
Duper is 4.8. I don't. Yeah.
Okay, great. So I'm telling you stuff you already know. That should have been something I asked you in the beginning. He just needs to learn those things,
Hmm.
and he needs a systematic way. Like we can't, you wouldn't be able to throw more than one thing at him at a time. Just human
Right.
beings in general can only do one
Right.
good thing at a time, right?
Right.
And that's the value of the lab. We have everything, and I'll show you more
Yeah.
about it. But we have everything kind of built out. Okay, so that's what I noticed on Surf side. Those are the things you'd have. There's other things, but without being able to see his ball and other things like that, that's what I would pick out first. Okay, so
Hmm.
this is you serving, correct?
Yeah.
Right? Or wait, I guess he's serving again. Let me see. Okay, good, 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 really good, really good. Okay, so let's go back to return. Let's actually back here. All right. Oh, perfect. Nailed it. All right. So he's gonna return. He's going to hit. And this is the first one I saw where he actually moves up. It's pretty good. He hangs
Hmm.
back off the kitchen.
Hmm.
So, as young as he is, if I were a coach, I'd keep him on the kitchen because he's going to grow into it, right? How tall are you?
He's 4 feet 1 inch.
And how tall are you?
I'm 5 feet 6 inches.
Okay. So, he definitely needs to be on the line. Now,
Hmm.
the younger he is, there's science behind this, and I don't really know what the answer. I'd have to actually do some research, but obviously he's going to peak around 26, 27, 28. That's when he's going to have his fastest reaction time. But kids are really good with reaction time, and that's why women play off of the line a lot. Their reaction time is typically slower, so they want to play off of the line so that they can, react well. I wouldn't have him play off the line, even though he's short. He's shorter right now. He'll grow into it. I think some people might recommend that. I wouldn't. I would just put him right on the line. But he needs to learn
Okay.
when you return and run, get right on the line. Like we don't want to stop there. Okay, we want to
Okay.
get right on the line. Now he does a pretty good job of returning and running.
Hmm.
Um, but there was one where I saw, it might be this one here, where he kind of just walked into it, right? That's one of the first things
Hmm.
we teach him is like, you can't walk, gotta go, gotta go, gotta run, gotta run, gotta run.
Got
And
it.
you gotta sprint until you get right here. Because if I'm on the other side and I notice that he's late to the line, I'm hitting all my thirds to him when he returns, all of them,
Exactly. Yeah.
because I can get in so much easier, right? So we would teach him that. Um, I can't really see what his fourth shots look like, so we work on his fourths as well. But really, he needs to master the first four balls. That's true of
Hmm.
everyone. If he can get good at serve, return, third shot drop or drive, and then fourth shot counter off the bounce or out of the air, then like we've got something pretty good there.
Okay.
Um, so that's serve side, return side strategy kind of stuff. Let's go back. Let's talk about his swing. Okay. And again, this is all without the lab. I'll show you the lab stuff in a bit. Do you
Hmm.
have any questions before I move on? Actually.
Yeah, so basically, what I'm trying to understand is like you said the four phases of
Mm-hmm.
pickleball, right? I think transition phases, yeah, that is one important thing before even start drilling dings or volleys, right? So I need to understand those basics, right? But
Right.
how much amount of drilling or practice he should involve get involved in a week, and how much hours of playtime, especially with the beginner play, right? Because with him I don't think I'll be able to play even intermediate level, so
Right.
he should be probably playing at beginner level. So I'm also trying to understand the balance of both. And yeah, he's also interested in drilling, but he feels little boring if I asked him to drill for like two back to back days, right? In general, because they'll have lesser patience than us. So
Right.
that's where I was thinking like what kind of drills we need to do and how
Yeah.
often he should go and do the play, right?
Yeah, that's a great question. So kids are very, very different than adults. So when it comes to an adult, I'd be like, well, what's your goal? If your goal is to become a professional, you should probably be doing in the beginning about 75% drilling, 25% playing, and that will lower over time. For a kid, every kid is different. Like some kids really like to practice, and that's great. I think most kids are in the minority that like to practice. Like most of them
Mm,
want to go play, right? And
mm,
then so this is the hardest part. Teaching a kid's not hard. Um, Feeling out what they can do and stay motivated and stay engaged and still love the sport. That's what's most important. And then as a parent, it sounds like you're probably in a pretty good place, but I'll give you an example. I used to take some lessons from a coach who like coached a U.S. Open winner, all sorts of stuff. Like a really good tennis coach, and he teaches a ton of kids. And his biggest thing was the hardest thing to deal with is parents. And he was like, parents want their kids to be better than their kids want to be, and it's really sad because like they push them and push them and push them. I don't think you sound like you have that problem, so I think we're good there,
mhm,
but it becomes a consistent conversation with them as they get older where you're like,
mm,
hey, like this, what do you want? Do you want to play for fun? Just play for fun. If do
mm,
you want to play like semi-competitive, like maybe on the middle school team or high school team? That's fine. Do
mm,
you want to become a professional? That
mm,
looks different than it does to
mm,
make a high school team or a middle school team or play for fun. And you don't start them right away. You just have conversations with them about it and be
mm,
like, well, dad, I want to be a professional. Like they all say that, right? For the most part. If you have a kid that's like, nah, I just really want to have fun, pretty self aware kid, that's good. Maybe over time that might change. It might not. You just kind of let him do what he wants to do. But if he becomes a professional or he says he wants to be a professional or he says he wants to have fun and you just want to help him understand what the professional life looks like, have to help him understand if you want to become a professional, you will have to learn how to practice and honestly enjoy practice. And like that's something like you can continue to work with him. It's his mindset. And
mhm.
so as a kid, it's up to him, man, honestly. Otherwise, I have so many friends that got burnt out on tennis because their parents just made them do it. But I think if parents will sit down and explain to him, like, hey, what are your goals? Okay, here's your goal. This is what it's going to take to get there. Now, you don't have to start now. He's 8, right?
Yeah, he's eight for
Yeah.
sure.
So at 8, you just kind of go, okay. Um, let's say he says he wants to be a pro. Be like, all right, well, a professional at a certain age, you need to be drilling 75% of the time and 25% playing, and then you kind of lower it from there. But for you, buddy, like I don't think that's what we should do unless you just really want to do it. I think you should have fun. I think you should play. But you need to keep in mind as you get older, you should, if this is still your goal over time, at 9 you got to drill a little bit more than you play. At 10 you got to drill a little bit more and just kind of set them up that way. So it's really up to him. That's a long explanation for it's probably up to him. If you got a kid that wants to be a pro and they love practice, 75-25, yeah, you're probably at 60-40. Honestly, they need to have fun unless their
Mm,
fun is having practice. But most kids, I think, are going to be maybe 25-75, 25 drill, 75 play.
mm,
But if you can, like, when they play and they're like, dang, I keep missing this shot, be like, hey, you can play all you want. That's totally fine. I do want to point out that you'll stop missing that shot quicker if you practice, but it's totally fine. Just keep that in mind. You
mhm.
know, like, so that's a really long way to answer your question, but does that answer your question?
Yeah, yeah. That definitely answered the question. Yeah.
Okay. So, but like, yeah, well, I'll come back to more of that. Was there any other question I didn't answer that you asked?
No, I think the other part was like, for example, I've been trying to tell him to hit ball in front of his body, but I think kids always tends to hit beside or behind their
Yeah.
body in general when they start, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm not teaching him like how to do topspin, all that stuff, because at this point of time he just need to get some hand-eye coordination and be more consistent, right? I don't think that topspin, all those things matters a lot if he's starting right now, right? So, but yeah, the footwork, I'm actually telling him some basics like why should we get to kitchen like after serving, after returning, what's the advantage of being in the kitchen. Only thing that I wanted to go him in particular order. Like you mentioned one good point, right? We can't throw him like 10 things at a time. Like, for example, I can't tell him, hey, dink with soft ramps. I can't tell him, hey,
Right.
serve like this. Hey, I can't tell him, like, you should return always deep. All that things he can't focus, right? So I just want like a structured plan, and he should get better at on all those four phases gradually. And I'm not in a hurry. Like I said, I mean, I like you said, I will leave it up to him whether he wants to play with me after 2 3 years, reach that semi-competitive level, or he wants to represent school, or if he wants to become a pro. Right now we are not thinking, but at least I want him to be a good sportsman.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. As long as whatever he's enjoying, I'm fine. We
Okay.
don't have any career aspirations or something, but
Great.
I want him to learn little bit, or like spend his time more productive rather than just playing randomly. That's all it
Yeah.
matters to me.
So you join the lab. We've got plans for you. I'll show them to you in a
Okay,
bit. But
okay,
the progression that you would put him in is all right. After 1,000 balls of practice, we're moving on to something else. But you're going to focus on one thing for 1,000 balls.
got it.
Um, for him, you might need to adjust him to 500 because, like an adult, a professional, I could have a conversation with them and be like, "Hey, we're into ball. Like, let's." It takes you about an hour to hit 500 balls, depending on what drill you're doing.
Hmm.
About 30 minutes in at 250 balls, I would ask, whoever I'm coaching, hey, are you still focused? If you're not focused, then you either need to refocus or we need to do something else, because if you're not focused, you're not learning anything. So it's kind of hard to have a conversation with a kid like that. They always want to be focused for you, right? So I
Right.
would say they easily get distracted. So maybe you drop it to 5, but maybe he can handle 1,000. Like every kid's different. Then you move to the next one. Do it for 1,000. You
Mm.
move to the next one. Do it for 1,000. Now he might not practice enough for that. So at that point, I'd probably do one thing a week. Like,
Mm.
hey, when you play this week, this is what we're focused on. So like 1 week is return and run, right?
Mm.
Um, like you just don't worry. Like let's go out, let's have fun, but let's work on one thing. You and me both. Like include him and be like, I'm gonna return and run every single time and get there before the second bounce. We talk about that in pickleball or in our 2 out of 3 course. Obviously, the ball doesn't bounce twice, but if it were to bounce twice, are you there? Like at the kitchen line. Um, and then next week focus on something else. Next week focus on something else. And I would probably choose a side. Like I'd probably just be like, we're gonna work on return side stuff for like a month, and then switch
Mm.
to serve side and just kind of keep him engaged. But like you need to kind of build those things on either serve or return side.
Mm.
Any other questions before I kind of break down his swing?
No.
Okay, great. So let's just watch his serve. It's a good start. Hit pretty good. Not bad. His footwork, I mean, I can't see him off of a live ball. He's off of a serve, but he does rotate and then bring his dominant foot in front of. So he goes right foot here in front of his left and uses a lot of weight transfer. Like
Okay.
don't need to teach him that. That's good.
Mm.
He finishes high. That's good. Probably don't need to like necessarily work on that a ton, so that's good. The biggest thing I would see is probably his take back, and he is hitting into the ball instead of hitting topspin. So you mentioned like we don't need to learn topspin. I would actually encourage you to teach it to him.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that hard to learn,
Okay.
and let's just get him started the right way because it's
Mm.
our ball accuracy topspin course is what we use,
Okay.
and you'll like if you join, you'll see the videos I'm talking about, but we have a video. Actually, I don't think we have it out yet, but I'll post it this week. You're hitting topspin to hit a more accurate ball because in topspin, everything has a function. Your wrist has a function, your elbow, your shoulder, your legs, your core, your hips. It's when these things don't have a responsibility or a function, you don't assign one to them, that you just hit balls all over the place. So topspin gives
Mm.
everything a roll, and then you just hit consistently over and over
Okay.
and over. Then it has the added benefit of the ball drops. It keeps the ball low, which is our high ball, low ball framework. And then you're able to hit the ball a lot harder and keep the ball in. There's like a lot of benefits of topspin, but it's not that hard to learn,
Okay.
especially with someone who teaches a lot. I teach it a lot. And so at the $40 a month plan, you guys are coaching yourselves, but you're
Mm-hmm.
going through the courses. At the $80 a month plan, I'm coaching you guys through
Okay.
various methods. Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah. So that all looks good. A couple of things I would say is we want his take back to be a little bit different. When he hits, he's not really hitting with topspin. We need to get him used to the windshield wiper.
Hmm.
And there's probably a lot of other things. So let me actually just kind of show you the lab and where I would start him. Honestly, I would probably I don't start most people here, but I probably would start him at ball accuracy topspin course. Um, a lot of times I'd start him at 2030. So he one of the foundations of 2030 play is returning and running. Like you need to return and run. And
Hmm.
so I'd actually have him go through that course, but let's actually just go through this course real quick. So first thing we'd have him do is work on the windshield wiper. Here's a whole video about windshield wiper. Either he can watch it or you can watch it and translate the information for him, right? It's 16 minutes. I don't know how much he's going to watch it. It depends on like what kind of kid he is. This windshield wiper troubleshooting is just, hey, we gave you a lot of information in 17 minutes. Here, if you're out hitting on the drills, here's a 3-minute reminder on the most important things. Okay, you need to watch both of them. Here's the drill that we want you doing. We want you hitting off of a hitting tee. So you'd buy a hitting tee off Amazon. I think it's like $20 or something. Like we have a
Okay.
link for it. And he's just going to hit off a hitting tee for, I think it's 6,000 to 8,000 balls. Because, and we explain it, again, I'll have a video up on it this week, but we talked about you can learn one thing at a time, right? When a ball is bouncing toward you, you can't focus on the windshield wiper. You can't focus on the other stuff like paddle finish or neutral stance or paddle to the wall with the cage. You are focusing on watching the ball with your eye, feeding that image to your brain, then moving your feet and trying to make sure that the ball jumps into your strike zone or bounces up into your strike zone. Then you're going to try to learn how to hit windshield. That's way too many things to be thinking about. A hitting tee, the ball sits there, and you have an infinite amount of time to hit the ball. It's not going anywhere, right? So that's where you can start to work on your mechanics. Okay, so
Hmm.
we'd have him do the windshield wiper where we've got a couple of things here, like make sure his wrist is cocked, make sure he's brushing. You do 200 balls on wrist cock, 200 balls on the brush, 200 balls on making sure your paddle is below the ball, 200 balls on making sure that there's a 180-degree rotation. Okay. Then another
Hmm.
200 balls on, again, making sure his wrist cocked because that's actually the biggest thing is actually having him back here when he hits
Hmm.
versus like having his wrist instead of like, man, I'm having here. Instead of here, it's like out here, right? Or even worse
Okay.
here. You can't hit topspin that way. So then that's 1,000 balls, and then we would move him on to paddle finish. Paddle finish is just basically when you hit, you need to finish with your paddle to the wall, and just have
Hmm.
that like a consistent thing. He doesn't even have to think about windshield wiper anymore. It either landed for him or it will land later. Another 1,000 balls right now is not going to help him do any
Hmm.
better on windshield wiper. We need to move on and keep him engaged. So then paddle finish for 1,000 balls, and he's hitting balls off the hitting tee. Like it's kind of fun, honestly, but it just kind of depends on the kid, right? Do that
Yeah.
for 1,000, and again, you can modify it to 500. Like you're going to be coaching him, just as much, probably more, obviously, than I would be.
Hmm.
And then we go to neutral stance. So we teach in the beginning. This is like the beginning of footwork: right foot, left foot, heel toe transfer, hit, and finish with your right foot in front. He's right-handed. So we teach that. He'd go out and hit on the hitting tee for 1,000. Then we talk about how to actually prep. So like having the paddle out here versus here. So if you mentioned tennis lessons, this is what they will teach, or they should be teaching if he takes tennis, because we teach the modern forehand. We teach the forehand that Yannick Sinner, the number one player in the world, hits with, Novak Djokovic, how he
Okay.
hits. Like we
Hmm.
teach that. And so he should be preparing here. The old way to prepare was to have your paddle down. The new way is your backswing is here. And if you watch Yannick, he gets here, he lets loose here, and then swings forward. So we
Hmm.
teach the beginning of that here.
Okay.
1,000 balls. Strike zone. Then we start telling him, hey, where do you want to hit the ball? You don't want to hit it beside you, like you talked about.
Hmm.
We have him on a hitting tee, and the hitting tee is in front of him, and then we put a piece of tape down where he needs to stand. And
Mm.
that ball, that strike is in front of him every single time. So we talk about what it means, where your strike zone actually is, and over 1,000 balls, he should pick up. I don't need to be hitting beside me anymore. I have to hit in front of me. That should fix that, honestly. Now, every once in
Mm.
a while, it'll get beside him, but over time, like that'll take care of itself. And then we have Apex and Attachment, and then we're coming out with like 3 more this week. So this is probably where I would start him. Once he's done with this, I would take him to the 2030. Talk about serve strategy. I'd honestly skip him on this if he's already done. Actually, I'd have him watch it, but I wouldn't have him do the drills because he's already done a ton with topspin because we're hitting topspin here. Talk about
Mm.
return, do the return drill, return and run drill 2. Then we get into transition. And he probably needs to watch these, even if he just watches it for 2 minutes here and 2 minutes there, and then finally finishes a lesson in a week. He needs to understand that this introduction goes into what we're trying to accomplish on serve side transition. At a
Mm.
2030 level, obviously we build on this over time in 3035, 3540. Although these courses are not built out yet. We're starting with 2030, ball accuracy, and foundations. So you have 2 options. You have drive or drop. We make it real simple. There's no other option besides drive
Right.
or drop on the third. Then we talk about the drive. We talk about the drop. We talk about the shots after third shot. Then we talk about, like we said, when to move up. When do you move up? Then we talk about when to attack. Okay. Then we go through third shot drop. He needs to get really good at the third shot drop. So he's got all these drills to get better at the third shot drop. We don't really go into dinking very much because he's not going to dink a lot. Our practice time needs to be spent on more important things, but we start him on a foundational level of understanding. The ball needs to apex on your side of the net. If you let the ball apex at the net or on your opponent's side, they are going to have a ball they can attack. So we have him work on that for about an hour just to like kind of understand that fundamental principle. Then we get into volleys, which are honestly really important for him. He needs to learn how to volley, but he's going to be learning how to volley while he hits topspin. Like in this topspin course, this is going to make him a much better volleyer because he's going to volley with topspin. He's just going to shrink the swing. It's not going to be a
Mm.
big back swing and a big forward. It's just going to be really shrunken. So then we have him do paddle ready. I did notice his paddle's down a decent amount. It's very typical, very normal. So we'll have him work on that. And then we would have him work on the main job in a volley, get the ball low. You don't have to blow balls by people, and which will be good for him because he can't right now, right? He doesn't have necessarily the strength to make it happen. It's not important. What's important is getting the ball low and as low as you possibly can. Now, if the ball's really high, obviously that is where it becomes less about placement and more about power the higher the ball gets, right? If I have a smash up here, I'm not going to go, let me place the ball right here, right? I'm going to place the ball here and I smack it, right? But volleys, like that's not a volley, that's a put away. Volleys are about keeping the ball low. So we talk about that, we emphasize that there and get through that. And then we build out these courses over time. 2030 is not done. We have more stuff coming out on it at some point, ball accuracy as well. So the idea is if you do, you've got a plan, exactly every day, like, hey dad, like I want to spend like 5 minutes on like watching a lesson. Well, here it is. And he
Mm.
can just go through everything. Dad, I want to practice today. Here it is. Where'd you leave off? I left off on, the brush. All right. Did you complete it? Yes. All right. Now it's time for below the ball. Remember, go back and watch the drill and see how it's done and then go hit. So you've got a
Mm.
plan for him. If he follows this plan, he's going to be way ahead of everybody else's age because, especially for the swing, like the swing's
Mm.
really hard to get better at. Like, what I built was what I wish I had. And I was thinking about it today while I was hitting on the ball machine. I was like, how much further ahead I would be if someone had taught this, but no one's teaching it. They'll teach it in tennis, but they don't have a lot of great coaches teaching it. Like you have to go to a pretty good coach to learn all these things. I had to. A lot of this course is built off what he taught me.
Mm.
And so a lot of coaches don't teach it well. And pickleball coaches certainly don't teach it because they don't know how to hit it because they didn't come from tennis. And the pickleball swing is not different than the tennis swing. The only thing that would really be different is tennis players hit more into the ball. So if I'm hitting a ball going this way, they're taught, here's a ball, here's a ball, here's a ball, here's a ball, swing all the way through that ball. If you do that in pickleball, you're likely going to hit the ball out. And so
Right.
we want to swing a ball or two, really,
Mm.
depending on where you're at, where your opponent's at. Sometimes we'll hit through all 4. That's really the only difference. And the strike zone, because of a tennis racket being really long or much longer. And then the weight of the racket makes you drop your racket naturally. In pickleball, you have to learn how to drop your paddle because it just doesn't weigh that much, and it's not very long. Tennis racket actually doesn't weigh that much more than a pickleball paddle. It's just long, so the weight's on the end.
Mm.
But those things are negligible. Like they're just not important, really, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
because you'll if he can swing well in pickleball, he's going to swing well in tennis and vice versa. So
Proper.
that's it, man. Any questions on that?
No, so can you exactly pinpoint the $40 and $80? I think it would be useful for anyone else as well, right? That if
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
what
yeah. So
how it
just go to
is different. Yeah.
yeah. So you just go to pickleball.lab.co. That's a great point. It would be helpful for everybody else. So you go to pickleball.lab.co. Scroll down. Come on. Been having some issues. We got our website redone. We've been having some issues with them. Let's see if that'll work. Okay, cool. So you scroll down. You look at the plans here. Okay, so the plans will tell you everything. So this is the $40 self-guided a month. You get everything in free. Don't ignore that. You can still come to weekly Q&A streams. A lot of like it's so this is the Q&A stream. It's
Mm-hmm.
live. It's public, so it's like restreamed on Twitch and YouTube and stuff. Um, you can still come here and get an hour of coaching. Like if no one else shows up, like if you show up and someone else shows up, do 30 minutes apiece, right? But if no one
Got
shows
it.
up, we're just gonna work with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have the 2.0 course light. That's you won't use that because we've got this for you. General chat, you won't use that. Actually, you would use general chat if you're only at the $40 a month. Anyways, let's move on. Okay, so with $40 a month, you get access to our foundations course, our topspin course, and our 2.0 to 3.0 course, and all future courses. Basically, it includes all the courses, and that's it. Inside each course, we talk about the progressive path. So you're like, I need a path for him to like follow. Every course is set up that way. Every course has drills. Every course has lessons, drills, checkpoints, a Q&A. So you can always ask questions about that specific lesson. And then continuous updates. So we just keep updating it. Like we're gonna drop a bunch of lessons
So
on the.
the Q&A section and the checkpoints. So checkpoints is with you, like basically. Uh,
It's a good question. Checkpoints are here. So like you do a lesson, you do a
mm-hmm.
drill, and you need to hit checkpoint 1 for 200 balls, mark it off. Checkpoint 2, 200 balls, mark it off,
Oh, okay,
etc.
okay. Once you finish,
Yep.
you're basically marking. And the
Yep.
Q&A is the same Q&A what we have, just
So
what
the
we are
Q
going
and
to be
A,
seeing.
yeah, it's a little bit more limited. So it's not, hey, like, check me out. Where am I at in my progress? It's more like, hey, I had a question about this drill in this video. You said this. Is that what you actually meant? It's more for clarification on the lessons and the drills and the checkpoints. Actual coaching, it doesn't. We don't answer those questions. That's where
Mm-hmm.
you got to go to the $80 a month. So the $80 a month is everything in the
Mm-hmm.
$40 a month, plus you get hands-on coaching. Okay, so you get premium chat channels. So
Mm-hmm.
our premium chat channels, this is where you could literally ask whatever you wanted, and we would answer it. With the $80 a month, you're getting unlimited coaching. It just kind of how does it happen? Well, we do a lot of the coaching in our chat channels. So let me go back here. So here's all our chat channels, our premium online chat channels right here. So if you had a question about ball accuracy topspin, you come in here and you drop it. And so if it loads, maybe it's my internet that's slow. It'll load here in a second. There we go. So you can see all these people posting like, hey, here's my footage. Like me practicing. Here's my game footage with me hitting. Like based on where I'm at in the course, like how do you feel about it? So I go and look and where they're at in the course, and then I redirect them. So this person here, they just put in film of them hitting. If it
Mm-hmm.
loads, and so you notice like she's just practicing over and over. And if you look at my comment, I come down here. Yeah, the internet's super slow. I come down here and I answer for her, and I drop her a video, and I'm like, hey, and the video is of me watching her hit. And I'm like, hey, here's like how I would adjust it just a little bit. And then she goes back out and makes those adjustments and keeps going until she's done with the checkpoint, and then does the lesson drill checkpoint again. And then I just keep adjusting it, right? So I said, nice work. Here's my feedback. And if you were to look at that, it would take you to a video of me watching her hit. So here I am right here in the bottom right hand corner. It's about 6 minutes long. And I'm just sitting there talking to her about what she's actually doing, right? Someone else here put in some game footage right here. So then I dropped a comment to him on like what I saw in his game in terms of what he's working on right now. I don't overload you guys. I just go look and see where you're at in the course and be like, all right, based on your gameplay, here's how this is going. Here's what I need you to do. And so that's what the premium chat channels are for. Video
So
clip
okay,
analysis. Go ahead,
yeah.
go ahead.
So basically, let's say if I'm doing a drill with my son, and let's say I have a question, you're
Yep.
saying that if we can also set up a call where you can watch him on live and then doing that stuff, or
That's a good question. We do provide that, but that's not the premium chat channel. The premium chat channel is just for you to post a video or to go in and type in text and be like, hey, I have these questions.
oh,
And I
okay.
come back and I answer them in text on there,
Hmm.
or I create a video for you and show you what I'm talking about. Videos are just more powerful for me to explain things.
Got it.
But what you're talking about is our weekly live coaching. So we have weekly live coaching sessions. And so when you go down here to live streams, weekly live coaching sessions, we have one for every course. So our foundations course, or not our foundations course, our ball accuracy course and our 2030. So our ball accuracy one is going to be Wednesday. Nelda W is going. She'll be there. I think I probably have like one or two more that'll show up. And then every Monday we have our 20 to 30. So this is where you jump on live. It's this right here, except it's private, so like it's just people who pay for the lab that can see it. No one's going to see it on YouTube or Twitch. So people, sometimes that matters to people. And then also I don't typically leave until I've gotten through everybody. So you come to the Q&A, let's say there's 10 people, I'm not going to get to all 10 people. 10 people show up to ball accuracy, I got to get through all those 10 people and do live coaching with them before I can get off. Typically is how we do it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then you get the archive, which is every single top spin live stream that we've done, or any posts that have been made. They're
Hello.
archived and you can go through all of them.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
And then the community is kind of like, hey, you got other people doing this with you. And like, if you post a question, they might like jump in and like give their 2 cents, or they might encourage you, those kind of things. We also have the weekly pods, where basically it's accountability. You get together with 3 people we match you with. And we haven't started doing this quite yet, but as soon as we get enough people, we will, that want to do the pods. It's you and 3
Mm-hmm.
other people, and you basically show up for 30 minutes every single week and you say, hey, here's my goal for next week. And then the next week you show up and you go, all right, here was my goal for last week. I hit it or I missed it. Here's why I hit it or why I missed it. Here's my goal for next week. And so it just keeps people accountable. I don't know that that's something that, you're going to do with your kid or not, but that's available. And then that also, once a month in the pod, I will jump in and do a coaching session with you guys. So the idea, honestly, is that $40 a month gets you the courses. It's self-guided. You're doing everything.
Mm-hmm.
$80 a month gets you the courses, plus I'm going to coach the crap out of you. So you can
Okay.
post anything you want. You can jump on the weekly live coaching sessions. We do the pod coaching as well. And then you got the $200 a month, which is everything that we talked about in here, plus you get one-on-one monthly coaching hour every single month. So those are the options. Any questions on that?
No. So uh, basically, I want to. I want him to have like a at least one coach, probably for like 6 months or a year. Let's see if I go with this accelerated plan for now.
Okay.
So I just want to check if you're gonna stick to him whenever we have these sessions, or like sometimes different people are gonna come and
Yeah.
like do
So
this.
yeah. So if someone shows up, so we have anywhere from 1 to 5 people in Topspin, our weekly live coaching session in Topspin every single week. So in an hour, I try to get to everybody. If it takes me longer, it takes me longer. If you have 5 people show up there, I'm probably doing a little bit around 10 minutes with each person.
Mm-hmm.
If you have more questions after that, then post them in the chat channel,
Mm-hmm.
and you can post video clips in there as well, and then you get more coaching. But
Got it.
live with me one on one, it's about an hour unless I can't get to everybody, and then I extend it beyond that. A lot of times, honestly, though, only 1 or 2 people will show up. So that means
Mm-hmm.
if it's only you, because
Mm-hmm.
not everyone can make it every week. So if it's
Right.
you that shows up and no one else is there, you and I are talking for an hour and we're watching film and we're going through things. Or if there's 2 of you, you get 30, they get 30. So
Got
it
it.
works. It works out to where like maybe you go first and you get 30, and then you don't stick around, you head out, or you go second and you just know to come back in 30 minutes. Or if you want to watch me coach them, watch. Most people watch me coach the other people because they learn from that. So yeah.
Okay. And this weekly live coaching also has some fixed time slot, or that is
Yes.
something we. Okay.
Yes. So right now, the ball accuracy topspin course, I believe it's 3 p.m. It's 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Eastern, or sorry, 2 p.m. Pacific, um, every single week, and we rotate the day. So we'll do Thursday, then we'll do. Actually, I guess it's 3 p.m. I'd have to double check. Let me actually look.
Yeah, because I also want, if I'm taking that uh, the advanced one, that I also want my son to be there rather
Yeah,
than me passing down, because he's 8 and he should be able to understand what you guys are
yeah,
saying, right? So
yeah. That makes total
yeah.
sense. It's 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. This
Mm.
week it's Wednesday. The next week will be Tuesday. The next week it'll be Monday. And then we'll go back to Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So it's on a different day. So honestly, the whole idea is to hopefully hit a day for everybody every single month. So if if you can show up once a month, we feel like that's money well spent for you. But
Mm.
obviously you're able to show up every single time if you want.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Also,
this
yeah, go ahead.
one, okay, this is at 6 p.m., but that is 3 p.m. because he comes, I mean, from starting next week, he's gonna have his school. So
Right.
that's why I was wondering if we could do like a 6:30 or 7, that would be great, but that's fine. It's just a request from
Yeah.
myself. Yeah.
Yeah, for right now it's set just because that's the times that have worked for us in the past. But honestly, the weekly live coaching is good. It's important, but
Mm.
honestly, the course is what's important. The course
Mm.
is meant to cover everything, and in this, so we have a loop. So there's this book called, oh my gosh, it's one of my favorite books, Peak, Peak, and it talks about the science of getting better at things, and it talks about athletes, musicians, like how people get better, and it has a loop. It has, you need to take lessons, then you need to practice those lessons, then you need coaching to adjust you, and then you go
Mm-hmm.
right back through the loop. Okay.
Mm.
So if you're just doing the lessons and practice and coaching yourself, $40 a month will cover you. If you want coaching from like an expert like me, then 80
Mm.
bucks a month is where you want to be. And if you can't
Mm.
make the weekly live coaching sessions, that's fine. I would say 80 to 90% of the coaching happens in these. And these are in the
Yeah.
online course. The 10 to 20% of coaching after that happens, I would say, mostly in our chat channel, because
Mm.
if you're not able to make all the weekly live coaching sessions, that's fine. um, you can come in and post a question here whenever you want. If you
Mm.
have video, upload video.
Got
And
it.
so I would say this is the most valuable part because it's done on your time, not necessarily like when
Yeah.
we have a weekly live coaching session.
Got it. Makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
or worst case, if I wanted to at least interact with you directly, then I can use this weekly Q&A session also, right?
Yes.
That you hosted.
Yes.
But the
As
only thing is, it will be on like public. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, and it'll probably, as we're about to start like really marketing the lab like hard,
Mm.
and we'll probably have a bunch of people in there, and it will be first come first serve.
Mm.
So if like you're the 10th person to join, I'm probably not going to be able to get to you. Now, we will prioritize our paid members even in the weekly Q&A. So
Got
if
it.
you show up in your 10th, but you're actually the third paid, then we're going to do our first 3 paid and then we'll get to all the other people.
Okay.
So you could do that. The only problem is I think, like I said, the chat channel is the most valuable part. You wouldn't have access to that if you did $40 a month. You'd have to use general chat, and I don't always reply in general chat. The thing about our premium chat channels, one, it's private. Two, you're guaranteed a response. Three, you're guaranteed a response within an hour or within 24 hours. And then we are much more in depth in our answers. Like there was, who asked a question? Oh, 5 comments. So like he asked a question and then I answered it and I gave him a video and he had another question. So then I answered that one. Another, like we just keep going. In general chat, it's basically if my time allows, I can answer your question. But really, it's for like other people to jump in and help and answer the question as well, just not a coach typically.
Hmm.
So, yeah, good questions. Great
Yeah.
questions.
Okay. So probably Josh, then I'll talk to you offline through the text
Yeah,
message, and
sounds like a
then
plan.
we can go on from there regarding the plan.
Sounds good. All right, guys. So I think we're going to end our weekly live stream, public Q&A. And thanks everyone for joining. Remember, every single Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, we're on here to help coach you and help talk to you. Obviously, we were talking about the lab because that's what, Eshwar wanted to actually talk about. But it can be anything. It doesn't have to be the lab. Bring your film. Ask questions on other people's film. Join live like Eshwar joined. And we would love to coach you guys. It is